What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down why tomorrow is going to be a very important day for NIO, as NIO has its earnings report coming out. And this is going to likely cause a very, very big move, in my personal opinion, for the share price. But before I break the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. You deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon in just 2 weeks. Anyways, for NIO, I just wanted to say that right now the setup is looking a bit more bullish as we have a nice inverse head and shoulders running into its earnings. Now, if the earnings are good and it causes a big bounce, at least for NIO, we want to see it break past this high at 5.5 to continue pushing. If NIOs are lackluster and this is just a trap and NIO continues to fall, it's going to likely lose $5 and see a bigger dip. So we'll see how things go for NIO. One thing I want to say is that they have a very, very good, in my opinion, projections for guidance, good potential, because we're looking at some very, very nice looking sales volume, a very, very nice demand and big news that just came out. So that could be very positive. That does increase the odds of this bouncing. But just to be safe, we will wait and see. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday. Before the market opens, we have NIO's earnings coming out alongside Big Lots and a few others. NIO is going to be a big one, so I can't wait to see what they end up announcing. Now, when it comes to the economic calendar, please know that for Thursday, June 6th, 2024, 1 hour before the market opens, we have initial jobless claims coming out, the exports and imports data, not to mention more jobless claims and such. So lots of jobs numbers come out an hour before the market opens. Then we also have the bill auctions coming out at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 4-week and 8-week bill auctions moving forward. So that's going to be very important. So we'll have to see how things end up going from here, and that's going to be very, very pivotal for the way the market ends up moving. On top of all of this, NIO also made China's first list for the L3 and L4 autonomous driving pilot automakers. Good news for them, as you're starting to see a lot of important groundwork for the commercialization of high-level autonomous driving capabilities that are being released. So that's good news for them. They're also talking about how the goal of the pilot is to select mass production-ready automotive products with the L3 and L4 autonomous driving capabilities based off extensive prior road testing. That's going to be very important. That's what they're talking about in their statements. NIO is also building its third EV plant as it could no longer meets demand, and that's actually very, very crazy. So demand for NIO is going crazy because they just set a new record in their registrations. We had 6,700 in just 1 week, and they're continuing to see insane growth. We actually saw another new all-time high record in the month of May for deliveries. That is awesome, awesome news, and we're likely going to get some more strong numbers moving forward, especially after the launch of Onvo. So their numbers, their numbers are going up. They're going to be starting, the construction of the third EV plants to meet demand, and that makes me very, very excited. I also think that it's important to note that right now, although Reuters report comes out from earlier today claiming 3 sources are now that are familiar with the way NIO is producing cars, this could raise their total capacity to about 1 million, roughly the same as Tesla's Shanghai plant. So that's actually very, very awesome. That's very, very great news to see this new plant being built, and that's going to be very, very amazing. The report said that NIO's new factory has been approved with 600,000 annual production capacity, putting the EV's total capacity in par with Tesla's Shanghai plant, and that's going to be big news with the amount of growth that's coming. Demand is outweighing production capacity, you guys can see after the crazy record-breaking month, and that's amazing news for the company moving forward. Now, when it comes to their data, we have 49 million in volume. That's a little bit close to average. And then the short volume is also kind of like low right here. It's currently at this 49% area. Bank of America Securities is maintaining a neutral rating. And we also have the price-price ratio kind of flat right here around this area. It's kind of flat because NIO is not making any crazy moves. And we also have a tendency of seeing green only about 50% of the time on Thursdays, so it tends to be 50-50. And we see more volatility at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and during the final hour of the day. So what do I see for NIO moving forward? In my personal opinion, I think that there's upside potential in this stock. We have a very, very nice looking inverse head and shoulders like structure. We're trying to hold our 200 EMA, and if we do try to break out of this, we could be looking for a push. So technicals do favor the upside as NIO is turning on the 4-hour and trying to hold support. But just to be safe, we will see what happens during their earnings. I think there's a good chance they're going to do well because guidance should be quite decent, considering the fact that they are talking about strong demand and then a new potential, manufacturing facility. Very, very bullish, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. For Apple's also looking, in my personal opinion, more bullish. We're trying to hold up very, very nicely. I do see potential to scroll all the way up to about the 196.5 area. We could see a little dip right here in a retest of 195 flat before we try to bounce again. That's a strong possibility. For Tesla, Tesla's kind of dipping a bit, but as you guys can see, we have a head and shoulders like structure. So be a little bit careful with Tesla. If we continue to close below 173, there's going to be a risk of us dipping down to at least the low 170 area to come down. Even if we do get a little dip on Tesla, though, we still have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure on the 4-hour time frame that could lead to a much bigger move. I think that the next big house is going to be the shareholder meeting, so we'll see what that causes for the share price. We're continuing to consolidate. We're just waiting for some very, very big data to come out, big news, and that's going to cause a much bigger move for Tesla. So we'll just have to wait and see. This is going to be very key for how things end up moving. So we will see if we get a big bounce or not. If we could break and hold above 180, then Tesla will turn back to bullish. Otherwise, we're just range bound. For the QQQ, we've broken all-time highs again, hitting 464. If we do break through this, I'll be looking at basically 466 as our next target. Let me just draw this out real quick. 466 is going to be coming next if we end up breaking past that area. So we'll see if we end up getting all the way up there. If we do break that, our next target will be all the way up to about 468. So we'll see if we can actually make our way up to these levels. If we lose 464, I'll be watching for basically 463 flat is going to be our next level all the way over here. And then if that fails us, we have lower targets. But overall, we are looking more bullish, in my personal opinion, for the way that the share price is moving. And I personally favor upside a little bit more, at least for the time being. Part of the reason why I say that is because of Nvda. Nvda is holding up very well, continuing to break out. I did call out basically 1225. We're actually continuing to push through that. So now we're approaching 1250. It's just continuing to squeeze, hitting the $3 trillion market cap. If that breaks, our next target is going to be all the way up here towards 1260. So we're continuing to push. There's no sign of us breaking down yet. Nvidia could push a little higher, but watch and see where we end up topping at. We'll wait and see, but it's still bullish. Bitcoin is also holding up very well. If we do continue to break the high here, we're going to likely be testing the 72,000 area. So look for a little pullback and a bounce on Bitcoin. It's still holding up. For SPY, we're currently at 535 in the after hours, breaking past the all-time high. So our next target is going to be all the way up here at 536. We'll be watching to see if we can actually push all the way up there. If we break 536, there's going to be a much bigger move, and then our next target will be 538 after that. Overall, we are looking more bullish. We'll see if we can try to push above this. If we end up rejecting off this, make sure you watch support currently at 533. Losing that would open the doors for a bigger drop to the lower 530s. But overall, we are looking more bullish in my personal opinion. With that being said, that's it for the main tickers I typically talk about. For a few more, GameStop and AMC have upside potential. I did call out 32 if we held above 25 on GME. And we held support, so look for 32 to be tested. If that breaks, we're going to be pushing for 35. AMC is also holding about $5 relatively well. If we keep going, we could easily get up to about 5.4. So not looking bad in my personal opinion. The VIX is also looking a bit more bearish. We have a gap to fill all the way down here. This could lead to more upside in the market, so we'll just have to see how things go. With that being said, there is upside potential. The market's still holding up well. And whether NIO continues to go up or not depends on earnings. But just know that earnings do give NIO quite a bit of potential, in my opinion. And we have a very, very nice setup approaching them. So there's a good chance NIO is going to start pushing for higher levels, getting closer to $6. Let's see how guidance looks, excuse me, guys. And we'll see how things happen from there. But with that being said, thank you all for listening. Have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. And I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow on the next one. Thank you for listening and peace out.